That down. Let's move on to this, shall we? Giancarlo Esposito is simply flat out one of the most beloved actors out there right now. Everybody loves him. You don't have to love everything he's in, but everybody loves Giancarlo Esposito. He's got like Tom Hanks in that way. Gotta love the Hanks. Anyway, he has confirmed, and we do know that he is going to be in the MCU. The other day, we discussed the fact that he said that his character is going to be teased, and then a series is going to come. So kind of narrowing down maybe who he could play. Now, one of the outlets that I read on a daily basis, I read like 15 outlets on a daily basis, and one of them is CBR. And they actually put out an interesting article this morning about 10 characters they could see Giancarlo Esposito playing. Now, as always, like I don't really like getting into the X actor and X role kind of discussions, at least not off the top of my head. But when we've got something laid out like this, I think it's fun to kind of go into it and kind of address to see where they could do. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to go through these characters one by one, and we're going to do kind of what we did for Deadpool. We're going to switch over to the classroom here. We're going to do kind of what we did for Deadpool, which was we're going to take a look at the character that gets mentioned, and then we're going to put them somewhere on the scale here. A would be, yeah, we could really see that happening. B, yeah, that could happen. C, 50-50. D, probably not. E, absolutely not. So that's what we're going to do. Then we'll throw in some of our own guys as well. So let's get back over to it. We're going to start off with they listed number 10, Professor Charles Xavier, which is one that a lot of people speculated for a while. I think in his recent comments, I think Giancarlo Esposito has kind of, hinted that it's not going to be Charles Xavier. I think he would be a great Charles, but I'm going to probably go on a C on this because it seems to be a really good fit, but he's kind of hinted that it wouldn't be. So I'm going to go C. Rob, what about you?
I'd go C too, or even less. Is there a D?
Yeah.
Oh, there's a D.
I'm going to go D.
You're going to go down to D.
Yeah.
Jonathan, what about you?
Yeah, I was thinking D as well.
You're going to all the way down to D, Ray?
Lowest one.
E.
Yeah.
So you're like, absolutely not. He's going to be that guy. Okay. So we have a C, 2 D's, and an E. So we'll put Professor X down in D. Okay. The next one that CBR proposes is Magneto. Now, Magneto's another one, kind of in the same vein as Charles, right? It's he's an iconic character, all that kind of stuff. I think he could make a magnificent Magneto. I think he's got that voice because whoever you get to play Magneto, there's not one voice to do it, but there's a kind of voice, a voice that has power and authority. Dare I say a regalness to it, if you will. But, and I'm going to bring this one up a lot in today's conversation, he said it's a character is going to be teased and then a series. I don't think they Disney Plus Magneto. I really don't. And so while I think it's a great fit, I'm going on the same level as Charles. I'm going to say a C. I'm going to rank the Magneto one as a C. Rob, what about you?
I'm going to go A.
Really?
And I'll tell you something. I think this is how they bring the mutants into the MCU. And what they're going to do is they're going to tease Magneto. He's going to show up full Magneto regalia. And the series is going to be how he became Magneto. Because I was thinking about this. In X-Men 1, back in 2000, you open with Magneto's story as a kid being torn away from his mother. In X-Men First Class, they revisit that, and you get Magneto's story, like when he goes to South America and takes out those dudes, which is awesome. And you see what Fassbender did. And I'm like, and then all the way through, even in Apocalypse, you see Magneto's story. Why does he become one of the acolytes of Apocalypse? You know? And I was thinking to myself, I'm like, if they casted Giancarlo Esposito and you did a series, how did he become like maybe he was he was part of the Rwandan genocide or whatever?
That's see, I think the Rwandan genocide, because remember, like in 2024, you can't really have Magneto as
too old.
As a German camp survivor anymore. It's just it's too old. You can't do it now. But the essence of that whole thing of him coming out of the concentration camps was that Magneto, at a younger age, had to bear the brunt of and witness the absolute worst in humanity. A Rwandan genocide kind of fits that bill. So that's why I think that would be a nice backstory.
And
for him.
he could have been a teenager that watched his whole family get slaughtered. I mean, what happened in that Rwandan genocide with 150,000 rapes and how many people were murdered. It's
Yeah.
like horrific, and it's more immediate than say the Holocaust was. But I think we're going to see that whole story. How does a man like Magneto get forged? His life, and because we saw these different things in the movies, and I'm like, that's interesting. And if they expanded the through line like we saw in Magneto you could with Giancarlo Esposito, by the time you get to him, and the first time you see him teased in the full-on Magneto regalia, and it's him, that would be awesome. I don't know what they would.
So you're
that.
thinking that would fit the bill of tease him first by putting him in a movie, and then showing him in the movie, and then giving us the backstory for him in a series.
And because that
That's
would be
not bad.
That could be an epic. I mean, I'm not gonna say as good as maybe Shogun, but it could be if it was really well written, and you had a guy like Giancarlo Esposito, knowing you're leading up to him, and you show like the first 2 episodes deal with his youth, and then the other 8 show his rise to power. You could also show the whole mutant. It would be awesome. Maybe that's just because in my own mind.
The
I
other
wanna see
thing,
it.
whenever I think about casting Magneto, I know I bring this up all the time, but I lament, and I love that we had McKellen. I'm so glad we have Ian McKellen's Magneto. He's a GOAT. That being said, I always kind of lament that we never had a Rutger Hauer Magneto. I always thought Rutger Hauer was kind of born to play Magneto. You know what I mean?
But when you watch him in The Boys, he's got that Magneto energy.
He absolutely
like he
does.
stands up to Homelander.
Yeah.
You're
He's
a
not
product.
impressed.
Not impressed.
You are bad product.
Did you see he on social media he recreated his character bugging out from Do the Right Thing?
No.
And they kind of played a riff. Did you see
didn't
that?
see that.
It was awesome. The fact that he does stuff like I love him. I love Giancarlo.
All right, anyway, we got to get back to the thing here.
Sorry.
So I said C. You saying A. Jonathan, what about you?
I'm gonna bump him to a C, but I just don't think he's playing a mutant.
Okay, so you don't think he's playing a mutant at all?
No.
All right, so you're gonna go C. Ray?
I'm gonna go E. I'm not saying that he can't play him, but I didn't he say that it's gonna be our first introduction to this character?
Okay. Well, we said we're gonna be introduced, and then we're getting a series.
Like you've never seen this character in the MCU, something like
Right.
that. In his
Well, we haven't.
interview?
But we haven't seen Magneto in the MCU.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah. So okay, so we have an A, 2 C's,
I'm gonna go E anyways.
and an E. So that puts Magneto in C.
By the way, if he's being teased, he's in Deadpool and Wolverine.
I mean that's
'Cause
been
where else are
kind
you
of
getting
the,
teased? I mean,
Yeah. He's not going to be in Captain America Brave New World, or maybe he is. Because that
All
would
right.
be interesting.
Let's keep going here now. So the next one up that they propose is Giancarlo Esposito would be a great Norman Osborn. This is going to be my 1A on this list. Because now, I understand there is recency bias here because we saw the way he plays his character in The Boys, there's a very Norman Osborn thing to that. The way he plays his character in The Gentleman, there's a Norman Osbornism to it. And maybe it's a little typecast for Giancarlo Esposito. I admit that. But out of all the names on the list, to me, this is the premium name that I totally think he would destroy, which is a Norman Osborn. So I'm going to go A for Norman Osborn on this. What about you?
I'm also going to go with you on A, and I'll tell you what I want to see. I want to see them do the Dark Avengers and do Siege when they attack Asgard, the Earthbound
it makes
Asgard.
sense because it's on Earth now.
Yeah. And if Norman Osborn leading, wearing armor, Stark Tech
Iron
after the
Patriot.
Iron, yeah, I mean, I would love to see them do that.
And we don't have any Avengers on the lunchbox right now, so it's perfect time to
so
step
it's good
in.
time.
The Avengers Dark. I mean, after what this is just me because I love
Yeah.
the Siege storyline in the comics, and man, Norman Osborn, bring that on.
Okay, so we got 2 A's for Norman Osborn. Ray, what about you? Giancarlo Esposito's Norman Osborn.
I'll go C.
Go up to C on that one.
Yeah.
Okay, Jonathan?
I'm going B.
You're
'Cause
going
I
to
think
go
it's very
B.
likely.
Okay, so we're going to put in a high B, Norman Osborn. All right, in the B position. I got to get the fonts the right size, same size. Okay, so with Norman Osborn out of the way, we go down to, did I just miss him? Bolivar Trask,
Who?
which is a name that I've seen some fans kind of bring up and all that kind of stuff. I just don't see it. They've already focused on the character in a movie once. by the way, in Days of Future Past, and he was great, but I don't really see them. Bolivar Trask isn't a character you tease. He's not important enough of a character that you tease the character and then do a season. I'm not going to say E, but I'm going to put this one as a D. What about you?
Yeah, I'm going to go D. I don't see it either.
Okay.
I don't think he's kind of a lesser character. I mean, I think Giancarlo Esposito has earned more gravitas than Trask.
All right, Jonathan?
Yeah, I'm gonna go E. I don't think he's gonna be a mutant. I think if anything, he'd be a foil to the mutants. But
Well, he's not Bolivar Trask's not a mutant.
no,
he's
I'm
the
saying
enemy of
a foil to the
foil,
mutants.
right.
But I still going E on this one.
Gonna go E, Ray?
I'm going the same.
You're gonna go E?
Yeah.
All right, we'll drop him down to E then. Trask goes down into E as I still continue to work to get the font size right, because I didn't do that before the show started. Because I'm dumb. All right. That was Bolivar Trask. How many have we done now? We've done 1, 2, 3, 4. I must have missed a couple of characters. Oh,
Looks
no.
like someone's a lock. They're up in A.
Let's see. The Beyonder
All right.
is the next one we've
Yeah.
got. All right. If the MCU was going to continue down a spiraling out of control, every character they have is way OP and like really kind of out there, sure. But number one, I don't see them using the Beyonder. Number two, I definitely don't see a Disney Plus TV series about the Beyonder. I just don't see Giancarlo Esposito fitting the Beyonder. So this is going to be my first E on this. I'm going to put Beyonder at E, right? Or Rob, what about
Totally.
you? You're going to go E?
The only person that I could ever see making the Beyonder work would be James Gunn, and he's no longer at Marvel.
Yeah, James Gunn could do something pretty cool with the
would
character.
do
You're right.
something with the
Something
Beyonder.
wacky about it. Jonathan, what about you?
I think Beyonder needs to be played by someone who's younger because
Yeah, I don't think he's a fit.
because they're not going to be aging. They're
No.
So I need a letter.
E.
E, Ray?
Same.
All right, we've got our first unanimous thing. Sorry, Beyonder, you suck. No, he doesn't. Beyonder is down in the E category. All right, next up. Zuras, the Eternal.
Yeah.
Coming in there. All right. I'm going to go with something you just said, Rob. If this was James Gunn running this is a character I could see him bringing in. But they've already changed in the movie universe what the Eternals are.
Yeah.
I don't see there being a role for Zuras in that. Plus, the Eternals, as much as I liked it, and I know you really liked the film.
I did.
I don't see them. I see them using Eternals more. I don't see them expanding the Eternals thing. So I'm going to make this another E for Zuras. What about you?
Definitely E. I don't see it at all.
Definitely an E, Jonathan?
I'll go D.
You're going to go on D, Ray?
I'm at an E too.
All right, so down in E, we got, from their suggestions, Zuras. Zuras. All right. Next up, we move down to, we got Secret Wars coming. Molecule Man.
We'll talk about OP.
Talking about OP. For those of you who don't know what we're referring, we say OP. That means overpowered.
Yeah.
You want to talk about OP. Like, it's difficult to even do a story with them at all. And here's the thing. Do you make a Disney Plus series about somebody like Molecule Man? Again, listen, there's nothing saying the MCU can't take a character they haven't used before and downgrade their power a lot. Like, I think they're going to do with Sentry. I don't think we're going to see Sentry at the power level that we see him in the comics, being the final boss against Hulk in World War Hulk. I don't think we're going to do that. So maybe they downplay him, but listen, because of the character, I think there's some interesting narrative you could do. Maybe they downplay. So I'm not going to say E, but I'm still going to say D. What about you, Rob?
I'm going to go E. I just don't see. I don't see that Giancarlo Esposito would be used in this way. I don't think it would play to his strengths.
All right, Jonathan?
Yeah, man. I keep boohooing all these things, but E.
E, Ray?
I'm gonna go B.
Oh,
Really?
I like this character actually.
All right, so I guess that moves. So we got 1 D, 2 E's, and a B.
That's just my.
I guess that'll average it
That-
out to the D list, I guess. Okay, so we're going to put him in D.
I just set myself up to being the biggest idiot, but you know what? What's new?
Okay. Okay, so that moves him up to the D thing there. All right. After Molecule Man, we've got the Living Tribunal.
That could be interesting.
Yeah, let's put God in the series.
Yeah.
This is going to be my second E. What do you do with that character? And then how do you give that character a series? Like that, I'm just going to say no. It
It's
shouldn't
hard
even be
to
on the
even
list.
quantify the powerless of like the Tribunal, and then who's the one that's like he was in the last Thor movie?
Yeah.
Gore?
No,
No,
but
no,
like
no.
all of existence, not eternal.
Oh, where they go at
Yeah. It's not.
it's a common word, and I can't remember. Eternity?
Eternity.
Eternity.
It's like
yeah.
how do you quantify Eternity's power or the Living Tribunal's power?
Tribunal,
Like
yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to go E. You're going to say
Yeah. E.
E. Jonathan?
E.
Ray?
E.
Okay, I thought for sure you were going to say A.
Because you got to give an actor something,
for
a
sure?
part to play.
Just kidding.
You know, he's got to have a great part. And he's a great actor, and everyone, you know.
Okay, Living Tribunal goes down on the E cast. Hey guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, The Perfect Jean. Guys, are you tired of the rough and rigid jeans crushing your boys? Well, today's sponsor, The Perfect Jean, finally solved all of your denim difficulties. They make great looking, perfect fitting jeans that are as comfortable as sweatpants. The secret? A special denim fabric that is super soft and has the perfect amount of stretch so you can squat, do yoga, or just sit around all day without ever having to take them off. I'm going to admit I was a little bit skeptical because to me, jeans have always been jeans. They're practical, but not always the most comfortable. But I'm telling you guys, it's not an exaggeration. Once I put on these jeans, the Perfect Jean redefined what jeans can be to me. They're the perfect fit, they stretch, they breathe, and again, they're just insanely comfortable. So guys, it's finally time to stop crushing your balls in uncomfortable jeans by going to theperfectjean.nyc/Campea15. Our listeners get 15% off your first order plus free shipping, free returns and free exchanges when you use code Campea15 at checkout. Again, that's 15% off for new customers at theperfectjean.nyc/Campea15 and use the code Campea15. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support the John Campea Show and tell them we sent you. All right, we get into the next one here. Replacing Jonathan Majors as Kang. Now, Jonathan Majors, take the controversy, put all that just aside for a second. I'm not saying ignore it. I'm just saying for the sake of this conversation, put that aside. Jonathan Majors is a tremendous actor. And whoever you get to replace him as Kang, from all the reports we've heard, they're still going to have Kang in the series. So they're going to have to recast it. You got to get a powerhouse actor. Giancarlo Esposito can be that actor. The one reason that I'm going to put this as low as a D, not an E, but I'm going to make it a D, is because pursuant to what Ray mentioned a little bit earlier, at one point Giancarlo Esposito kind of teased that the character he's going to be playing is one you haven't seen in the MCU yet. So maybe he means that as in haven't really seen him in the MCU yet. So I'm not going to go E because it's a logical thing, right? You need a powerhouse player to replace Jonathan Majors. Giancarlo Esposito can be that guy. Big, menacing, voice, booming, all that kind of stuff. But I just, because of what he said before, I got to put it down as a D. What about you?
I'll go C because I'd like to hold on to the idea that I would love to see him as a Kang variant. If he came back as a Kang variant, King Kang or whatever, I don't know.
King Kang.
I would be for that.
All right.
Yeah.
So you're gonna go C.
Yeah.
I was A because I've been assuming this whole time it's A. However, based on his comments, it could also be a misdirect, but that seems like a weird misdirect. So it was C, but maybe I'm going D. Man, I'm going negative on all these.
Okay.
But
By the way, our viewer Aries Pork it just came up with the greatest name. If it is Kang and he is getting his own series, came up with the perfect name for the series, Kang Bang. That's the name of the series. The Kang series called Kang Bang. I like that.
Gus Kang.
That's Kang. What about you, Ray?
I go E.
You're gonna go E. All right.
No doubt, he could play that role. Like, woo. But I gotta go.
All right. So I'm gonna say that averages out to putting him in the D list. All right. Last one that they mentioned. It's the one everybody's talking about. Dr. Doom. Look, for years now, one of the MCU fans' biggest thing to speculate and talk about is who's going to play Doom. And, you know, with all due respect to all the great casting announcements for Fantastic Four, the one everybody's still sitting on, because you know he's at least going to make a small appearance, either as Doom or as Victor Von Doom or whatever, is who's going to play Doom. Giancarlo Esposito would be magnificent. He would. He's got, again, much like Magneto, you got to have that booming, authoritative presence of power. Giancarlo Esposito carries that maybe better than anybody else in the business right now. You need somebody, you got to expect that Doom is going to be a major player in the MCU, so you want the best actor possible to play to really give it that weight and that gravitas. Giancarlo Esposito is the guy to do it. I am hung up, though, on the whole series comment. Do I see them Disney Plusing Doom? Maybe. And the reason I'll say maybe is because whereas, the MCU on Disney Plus has been looked at as kind of a place to get going with your B-level characters, WandaVision notwithstanding, and then move from there. They're only going to be limiting Disney Plus series to 2 a year, and they said they're going to be using them more kind of as standalone stories. But Rob, you made a really good point earlier about Magneto. Okay, that you make Magneto a movie character, you bring him in the movies, but then you tell his story on Disney Plus's background. So it kind of becomes like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like an additional thing to the book, an appendix, if you will.
Yeah.
To the book, and so I will go as high as a B. I won't say A, but I'll go so high as a B because it's a pretty big major heavyweight character. So anyway, Rob, what do you think about Doom?
For the same reasons that you just described that I went with Magneto, I'm going to go A on this as well. Because Fantastic Four is being made and it's egregious that we don't know who's playing Doctor Doom or what Doctor Doom's, or even if there is a Doctor Doom. They need a heavyweight villain in the Marvel Universe. After Thanos is gone, the Marvel Universe, they keep bringing up these characters and dispensing with them. We need an ongoing, and especially after X-Men 97 with Magneto, I think that Victor Von Doom is a perfect casting here. And again, same thing. You tease him, you introduce him in a movie, then you give us his entire backstory. Because that doesn't interfere.
Without needing the movies to tell his backstory.
That's right.
Right.
And the backstory has not just him in it, but it has younger actors or whatever, and you get to see his evolution, his development. And then you get back to Giancarlo Esposito as the character in the movies.
So what letter are you ascribing this?
A.
You're going to go A, Jonathan?
Oh, man. I'm so torn on this. I'm going to go B. I just feel like it's the series thing. I do think there's a likelihood that you would do it with Doom over Osborn, because Osborn is only going to link to the Spider-Man's franchise. He's not going to be and then you have to deal with Sony. He's not linking to the Avengers or the Fantastic Four, who will eventually link to the Avengers. So I think Doom has a better shot at it than Osborn. I'm still going to say B.
All right, B. Ray?
I'm going to go B as well.
All right, so you had 1A, 3 Bs. So Doom ends up on the B, which leaves us with nobody in the A column. We didn't put anybody in the A column. In B, we got Norman Osborn and Doom. In C, we got Magneto. In D, we got Professor S, Molecular Man, and Kang. And all the way down in E, we got Trask, Beyonder, Zuras, and the Living Tribunal. All right. Let's throw out some of other names that maybe Seabear didn't address. I want to propose one. It's going to be massaging the lore a little bit on the character. But we've never seen this character really done on screen before. At least live action. X-Men 97 is the hotness right now. And I've been reading this character and liking this character in the comics for most of my life. I want to propose that he could be playing the X-Men character Forge. I want to throw out Forge as an idea. Now, again, you'd have to massage a couple things. But now, and then do you do a Forge series? I don't know. That's why I'm not going to say A. I'm not going to say A on this. But I want to throw out Forge as a thought. What do you think about Forge, Rob?
I think he's too old. Only because
that's why I'd say you'd have to massage it a little bit.
Because I've always loved the
agree.
Forge relationship that he has with Storm. But you know what, though? If they decided to go a little different way with Forge, I could see that. I'm going to go C on that.
Okay, you'll do a C. Jonathan,
I'm gonna go D.
you're gonna go D on it. Ray,
I can't. I don't know enough.
you don't
about
know
it.
Forge enough. Yeah, I get that.
I'm not gonna.
I also don't know that you do a series on Forge.
So we had a B, a C, and a D. So we'll put Forge down in the C. Anybody else got any other characters you want to put forward or mention? Remember, it doesn't have to be an X character. It's nobody said it was going to be an X character. It can be somebody else.
I just gotta say, if you listed all the possible villains, he could play. I think 90% of them. He's just that
sure,
good.
yeah.
That's why I don't. I could throw out any name out there, but I won't put my heart into it because there's so many that he could play. I don't have any in my head right now.
Now, King Daddy Goat in the live chat is throwing out a name. Apocalypse. Now, that would work in the same model, Rob, that you were describing for Magneto. You could have Apocalypse in the series and then tell his evolution, if you will,
Yeah.
from En Sabah Nur to becoming Apocalypse in a series and then pick up with him in the movies after that. That's, again, powerful, booming voice. I mean, Apocalypse would probably be CGI.
I've got another one to throw out if we're talking X-Men characters.
Well, okay, hold on to that one for a
I
second.
just want to say, I would like him to play someone with not a lot of things on his face because when Gus Fring,
You want to play something where you see him.
because with Gus Fring looks like he's angry and like those dead eyes and just his like non-happy face, that's terrifying to me. I would like him to be playing someone where we see his face a lot more and not underneath some makeup or
I'll call Apocalypse, though, a C. I like the idea of villain character, but like he would have to be CGI'd a bit.
yeah, I'll go with a C just based on the character, but yeah, he's gonna have a ton of makeup if he played that guy.
All right, I'm going to put Apocalypse in the C. What's the other name you have?
Mr. Sinister.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
one a lot of people have been bringing up.
I mean, he's my favorite X-Men villain. I mean, I don't consider Magneto necessarily a villain. He's
What's
an
his first name?
antagonist.
Nathaniel?
Nathaniel
Essex?
Essex, yeah. And but it might look strange to have a black actor in whiteface. That could be a little weird.
But
But-
a
It
white
doesn't
actor,
matter.
that
Yeah,
Mr.
same thing.
Sinister does not look Caucasian.
No.
He doesn't
It
look,
just,
yeah, he
but
could be
what-
anything.
I mean, what Ray was saying about makeup, because I love Giancarlo Esposito's face. I love him as Moff Gideon. I loved him as Gus Fring. I love seeing his face.
Yeah.
So I don't.
But you could do it in such a way
Uh-huh.
that half the time he walks around looking normal human.
Yeah,
right?
or so he doesn't have. You can just have him in his face. It's. I don't think that the white or whatever he can. It's the outfit. It's and his gravitas. I think he could be an awesome Mr.
Yeah,
Sinister
yeah,
because
yeah.
Mr. Sinister can be older.
I'll give that one an
he'd be
A.
anything. You're going to give Sinister an A. I'm going to give Sinister a B. Jonathan, what about you?
Yeah, B.
You can go B?
Yeah.
He'd be great as Mr. Sinister.
Yeah, he would.
All right, we got 2 A's and 2 B's. I feel like to put somebody in an A, you need at least 3 A's. So I'm going to put him in B for now, but Mr. Sinister's a really good one too. Anyway, there's a lot of different names out there, and maybe it's going to end up being one we haven't talked about.
Let me ask you something. We're skewing into the villainy realm.
Right.
Is there a hero he could be?
Oh, we didn't even think about that, but
It's okay. So it's.
I know. I'm
mean,
just thinking
okay,
villain.
so
I'm
like-
just throwing that out there.
I know because listen, here are the names we put up there: Norman Osborn, Doom, Mr. Sinister, Magneto. To me, is a hero, but I mean, depending on how you do him.
Antagonist.
Apocalypse, Molecule Man, Kane, Trask, Beyonder, Zuras, the Living Tribunal. But we have put out there Professor X, and we have discussed Forge.
That's true.
I don't know of many other hero characters in the Marvel universe at large. I mean, some people say Blue Marvel. I think he's a little bit old to
Yeah.
play Blue Marvel.
let him marinate for a
But
little
he's
bit.
just such a good villain.
He's such a good
Yeah,
villain.
like-
Such a good villain. Just love him.
I mean, yeah. So I don't know. Anyway, guys, question is for. Oh, you know what? Pause that.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
crap.
Kane Legion just threw out a really good name. Ray's gonna like this one. And you know what?
The Void?
I'm actually loving this name.
The
I don't see him getting his own series, but I love this name. Whistler. Whistler.
Oh.
Now, of course, that would plop him in Blade.
which will never get made.
which may never get made.
So we won't ever see this character. So Kane Legion, no.
But I kind of like
Look,
him as a whistler.
But to use him for that role, man,
But you make the role then meatier. You give the role.
Oh, you give it more.
You give him
gravitas.
more weight.
Mm.
He could be an awesome.
Yeah,
whistler.
he could. He could be an awesome anything, probably.
Yeah.
But you know what?
I like
No.
that one. Anyway, okay. Now for sure, guys. With that said, question is for you. What do you think about this? There are a lot of people out there, including some outlets, throwing out these names and whatever. Do you have a name that you think would rank high? Do you have a name that we have ranked low that you think should be ranked higher? Do you have some other names out there? Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.